Repeat
The question is, isn't an imprest supposed to be surrendered and accounted for within 7 days?
Surrender of imprest are surrendered within specific days.
My question is very easy. By law, should an imprest be surrendered within 7 days? It's either yes or no. Should an imprest be surrendered and accounted for within 7 days? What's your answer, Madam Governor?
I'm not sure if it's within 7 days.
Fair enough. You will also agree with me, this report covers an entire year, financial year, July to the date, the last date there. Correct or incorrect?
Correct.
And therefore, if payments made in September last year by way of imprest still appear as prepayment, the only conclusion that arises is that those imprest were never surrendered and accounted for. It is the only accounting conclusion that ensues, Madam Governor. Correct or incorrect?
Incorrect. And the reason is that you cannot receive funds from the Treasury before surrendering everything that you received earlier on.
As a matter of fact, Madam Governor, so that I show you you're a liar, can an officer be given an imprest without accompanying hard cash?
Repeat again.
Is an imprest given with, is an imprest when an officer takes an imprest, aren't they given cash? Isn't that why it is indicated as a prepayment? Because they have been given cash to expend and later account.
It depends whether the
it is yes
government...
or no, Madam Governor. Can one be given an imprest without a cash disbursement to them? Would you call that an imprest?
It is a prepayment.
Madam Governor, I put it to you, you can't have it both ways. It is your case that the reason these items appear as imprest on IFMIs is because they were by way of imprest. Isn't that your defense, Madam Governor?
Can you ask clearer? What is it? What question do you want her to answer?
The question, Madam Governor, which I'm putting to you, is that your answer that officers take imprest and then later on, when money is disbursed from Treasury, they are paid. That is why they are paid several, they appears.
What is the question? Are you putting it to her or you asking?
I'm putting it to her, Madam Speaker, that your answer cannot hold, which you gave in chief, that the reason your relatives have several payments on the same day is because money is paid after the event and after there has been an accumulation. That cannot be correct because an imprest is always supported by hard cash. So it is given on cash basis. So the question of waiting for money does not hold, Madam Governor.
These are prepayments, and these are money requested for activities not paid before. And when money arrives to the county government, they are paid. For example, if I'm traveling today from here to a certain destination, we will use our own resources and later surrender the documents for the person concerned to receive the payment.
Let's use your own example, Madam Governor, pause it there. If you travel today on your own money, which will be refunded later, would you be given an imprest for spending your own money?
You will be paid for spending
That's not my question, Madam Governor. You're going on a trip, and we all agree it happens every day, on your own money to be refunded later. Are you given an imprest on that occasion when you're traveling on your own pocket to claim later?
You will be given interest if there are some goods you are required to buy on cash. And the amount of money that the council we are discussing is the office of the governor, where there are no projects apart from the usage of money by way of travels and other things like purchase of items in the office of the governor. No projects is done in the office of the governor. How else do we expect the office of the governor to work or to receive money if not by this form?
I did ask you any question,
formula.
Madam Governor, about projects. We are talking.
Councillor, can you wrap up on that question? And can you? I think the Senate might be able to appreciate the issue of interests. I request that you move to the next question.
Madam Speaker, my name is Morero, and I have a few questions for the Governor. Madam Governor, we were told by your witness, the CEC for Legal and Public Service Management, that the originals of the surrender documents are with the auditors. Is that your position?
Yes.
And he told us that the originals that are with the auditors are signed. Is that your position?
Yes.
So if the originals are with the auditors and they are signed, where did you get these surrender documents that are not signed?
Council, what happens after you surrender the interest? When you surrender the surrender of the interest, you have a voucher that is in your documents attached to your files, signed, verified, and examined by an examiner. I think those are the documents you have. Are they examined and verified?
No, the documents we have are not examined or signed by the Director of Accounts or by the Chief Officer of Finance. And if your testimony or your evidence is that the originals are signed and they are with the auditors, where did you get these copies that are not signed? Can you have two documents, one which is signed, the original, and another document that is not signed with respect to the same transaction?
Of course, every person has to keep a record of what maybe you might be asked to give and give it out.
So you would agree with me then that the documents you provided here are not a proper record or representation of the documents that are with the auditors?
And that's why we have...
No, it's a yes/no question. Would you agree with me then that the documents that you've provided here, because they are not signed, and the ones that are with the auditors, the originals, are signed, then these documents, obviously, are not a proper representation or copies of the documents you submitted to the auditors?
They are the same documents submitted to the auditors.
Madam Speaker, I think at this point I'll invite the Senate to make the necessary conclusion. Governor, you can turn with me to page 295 of our volume 2. And my first question, Governor, is whose responsibility is it by law to appoint chief officers? Is it your responsibility to appoint chief officers?
No.
By law, whose responsibility is it to appoint chief officers?
Public Service Board.
Governor, maybe I can clarify there that the position of the law, if you check section 45 of the County Governments Act, is that the governor appoints chief officers on recommendation of the County Public Service Board.
Yes.
The County Public Service Board advertises,
Yes.
they shortlist,
Yes.
they interview,
Yes.
then they submit names. And in fact, in your case, they submitted 3 names for every department
Yes.
to the governor for formal appointment.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
So who does the actual appointment? The governor.
Yes.
So the document at page 295, now that you agree that it is the governor who formally appoints chief officers as by law. You will then you will agree with me, Governor, that the document at page 295 emanates from your office. It is signed by the county secretary for Her Excellency the Governor, and it communicates your decision as governor to appoint certain individuals as chief officers, some in acting capacity, some in substantive positions, correct?
Council, I would like you to...
It's a yes/no question, Governor, so that we move.
There's no.
So you have not appointed these persons?
I've not appointed.
Okay. I'll refer you then to number 1, Naomi Kamunde, that is appearing. Can you read aloud what the document says at number 1?
I want to read from slightly above number 1.
Okay, you can start there then.
Redeployment.
Okay. Redeployment, go ahead. Or maybe your assistant can
In
read for you.
order to improve on efficiency and effectiveness in the service delivery, the following changes have been agreed upon.
Okay.
Naomi Kamunde to move from Office of the Governor, Directorate of Protocol, to perform functions of Chief Officer, Office of the Governor, awaiting substantive Chief Officer.
Okay.
Yes.
So, by this letter, Naomi Kamunde is to move from the Office of the Governor, correct?
Yes.
And perform the functions of Chief Officer, awaiting a substantive Chief Officer, correct?
Yes.
And we've agreed that the power to appoint Chief Officers resides in you as a governor.
Is that appointment?
No, we have agreed that the power to appoint resides in you as a governor, correct?
Yes.
Is it your position that in appointing chief officers in acting capacity, the governor need not consult the County Public Service Board?
In this case,
No, it's a yes/no question, Governor. Is it your position that in appointing chief officers in acting capacity, the governor need not consult the County Public Service Board? Is that your evidence?
who has signed this document?
It is signed. Answer my question. Madam Speaker, I think at this point I'll seek your protection. May the witness answer the
Madam
question.
Governor, just answer the question, sir.
It's a yes?
Repeat again.
Is it your evidence that in appointing chief officers, in whatever capacity, whether substantive or acting, the governor need not consult the County Public Service Board? Is that your evidence?
When appointing a new chief officer. But
When
not
appointing a
deploy.
new chief officer. So
not
I take it
deployment.
that it is your evidence that when appointing a chief officer in acting capacity, the governor need not consult the County Public Service Board. That is your evidence.
The county secretary also has the powers.
By what? By which law? By which law? Show me the law. I am willing to be persuaded, Madam Governor, show me the law. What allows the county secretary to appoint chief officers?
Not
In
to
whatever
appoint,
capacity.
but to redeploy.
Governor, the question is not on the deployment. The question is on appointment. The question is on appointment. And turn with me to page 335. What document is on page 335?
Advisory on transfers and appointments.
Okay.
This is an advisory.
An advisory by the County Public Service Board.
Yes.
At paragraph 2, just read aloud what the County Public Service Board has advised all chief officers, because this is an internal memorandum, through the County Secretary who is the head of public service.
The County Public Service Board have advised the County Secretary and the end of public service, but not the Governor of Meru.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we agreed that it is a function of the governor to appoint chief officers. We agreed on that, section
Yes,
45.
yes.
Okay.
But
Go ahead
there
and
is
read it.
no
Just go ahead and
advisory by the county government or the County Public Service Board to the governor.
I agree with you on that. But I'm saying just read paragraph 2. Or do I read it aloud for you to agree?
No, I should read.
Okay.
This is advisory to the county secretary and end of public service with respect to establishment of offices, appointments, including acting appointments to all levels of staff. Please note that it is the sole statutory responsibility of the County Public Service Board as guided by the sections 59, subsection 1, A and B, 63 and 64 of the County Government Act 2012, to read together with the section 34, Act 2017, and section 16 and 23, PSC Regulations 2020, any other appointments done outside this is deemed null and void.
The County Public Service Board says that all appointments, including acting appointments at all levels of staff, is by law, and the laws are quoted there. It is the sole statutory responsibility of the board, correct?
Yes.
So, could you then, you or your or your county secretary, in the document on page 295 and 296, purport to appoint chief officers in acting capacity or substantive capacity? Could you purport to do so? Are you within the law in purporting to do so? That is my question.
I am not the one that did this. The letter is clearly signed by the county secretary.
But for who, Madam Governor? The letter is signed by the county secretary for who? For the governor, correct? And the appointment is issued in the letterhead of the office of the governor, correct? At page 295.
Where?
At page 295, on the top of the page, the letterhead is office of the governor, correct?
The letterhead for all the offices in my office have office of the governor, not this one specifically.
No problem, but this one specifically is office of the governor.
Yes.
Is the county secretary...
Council, sorry to interrupt.
Thank you.
I would like to alert all parties of the timelines that we are going to follow, and we are going to strictly adhere to this. The cross-examination will end at 7:10 without any extra minute. The re-examination will start from 7:10 to 7:30. The clarification by senators will start from 7:30 to 7:50. And then we'll have the closing statement on behalf of the County Assembly for 60 minutes from 7:50 to 8:50. Then we'll have the closing statement on behalf of the government for 60 minutes from 8:50 to 9:50. And then from 9:50 to 10, we will have an in-camera session. And the Senate will then have debate on the motion and division between 10 and 11:50 p.m. So this is to alert you to just bear that in mind. Thank you.
Very well, Madam Speaker. We are guided accordingly. So, Governor, back to my question. The specific letter on page 295 is issued in the letterhead of the office of the governor. And we have agreed that the governor, as the governor is the appointing authority for chief officers, correct? Is the county secretary a staff in the office of the governor?
The county secretary
Yes.
and the public.
Is the
They are
county
staff
secretary
in the county government of Meru.
staff in the county government of Meru?
Yes.
You will agree with me that the county secretary is the head of public service
Yes.
and is therefore not a staffer in the office of the governor.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
So, in as much as you might want to say that the county secretary was signing on your behalf, is not
The county secretary.
a staffer in your office, correct?
The county secretary assigned the letter.
For the governor, though he is not a staffer in your office, correct? Governor, turn with me to page 384 of our volume 2. Under paragraph 4, that is a response by the County Public Service Board to the clerk of the county